Welcome into the Jordy Culotta Show. Wave your hand out there, baby!
Shout out to the show.
She puts the pinky into the nostril. Man, look at that.
Healthy competition, there's nothing like it.
Y'all grow up. The line's wrapped around the stadium. Different strengths. I just lost a tooth.
It's going to be fun.
You know, we might have a story.
I love what you're doing.
Ogeron wants to take us fishing this afternoon.
Sharif, you play for the bad boys of the SEC, man. We don't apologize to anybody.
But a lot of people are saying you're going to be wearing number 7.
I don't really know. I want to.
He look crazy, Bill. Good feet on the old man.
This is some back you know, I love.
We'll be right back with the Jordy Culotta Show. Welcome in to a Thursday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, built by RMB Builders, as always. Rhett Bourgeois, get in touch with Rhett at online, rmb-builders.com, and Instagram, RMB Builders. Our phone line is brought to you by Metropolitan Health Group, Real Doctors, Real Solutions. Chris Blair is going to be through here at about 8:15 this morning. We'll talk to Blair as we'll get set up for the Super Regional LSU versus Kentucky this weekend. We'll ask Blair his thoughts about the Wildcats coming back to Baton Rouge here in the postseason. Tigers got 2 of the 3 finalists for the Golden Spikes Award named from LSU. Dylan Cruz and Paul Skeens both named as finalists. Jack Caglione is the no?
Oh, no, I figured that's your arena, dude.
Right.
Are you kidding me? He's Italian.
No doubt about it. But I'm still pulling for Cruz on this.
Dia Giacomo?
I want Cruz to get this one.
Yeah.
Did I say it wrong?
No, you said it right. I just know you have a
Giovanni. I was very
Dia
nervous.
Giacomo.
I was looking over the well there. Screw it, I'm jumping. But LSU's got 2 of the 3 finalists named for the Golden Spikes Award. Both Paul Skeens and Dylan Cruz on this list. I'm pulling for Cruz here. I know Skeens was named college baseball's best player last Friday, and deservedly so. Skeens, start to finish, has probably been the best player this year. But I think that Cruz, just for his accomplishments, his time, and quite frankly, I think that, you know, not that anybody's going to walk up to Cruz and give him a handshake and tell him thank you, but college baseball owes Dylan Cruz a little bit of appreciation. I mean, Dylan Cruz didn't have to come to play college, and he did, and his family, everybody has come out and said, and even Cruz has said it's the best decision he ever made. He loves LSU. It should help him tremendously in the draft. He's probably going to go 1 overall. If he doesn't go 1, he's going 2. But, I mean, just the opportunity to see this guy play for the last 3 years has been such a treat. A lot like the opportunity that we all had to watch Alex Bregman, just over a decade ago start his career, at LSU, and watch that run with him, which is so incredible. But you knew when you were watching him that you were watching something that was going to bud into this, major league all-star for a decade plus. I mean, that's the same way I feel about Dylan Cruz. I imagine seeing him rip the all-star game up, playing on contenders, playing on winners, right? Because he's going to be batting third and playing center field for, whoever it may be. But the opportunity to watch him play college baseball the last 3 years has been, it's been so cool. And I hope that he gets this award because of how much it means to the sport, right? LSU's only had one win this award, and Ben McDonald, who won it in '89. And they've had some legends come through here, right? Todd Walker, Eddie Furness, all the way up to Bregman and beyond. And Cruz, for him to take this award home, I think it would be awesome. And look, if Skeens gets it, you're just as excited, right? I mean, you're pulling for the LSU guys here. But just a little bit of a personal ode to Dylan Cruz of he made the decision out of high school to come to college. He didn't have to do that. It was a weird time in our world, of course, with COVID and everything that was happening. But he decided, hey, look, I can go to the bigs right now, but I'm going to college. And he's come to college, and he's given LSU, he's given the fan base, he's given the buying public everything he's had for 3 years. How much more can you ask of this guy? Nothing. And to see him performing on the big stage like he did last weekend, having the opportunity to play postseason baseball in Baton Rouge, have another weekend of postseason baseball at the box for Dylan Cruz, knowing that this is the last time you'll see him play at LSU. Hopefully he keeps it going for the next couple of weeks and plays through Omaha. But this is the last weekend he's dressing out in the box. And if he could take home that Golden Spikes Award, I think that would just be a little bit of a cherry on top of, just what a treat it's been to watch him play and watch him compete and the way he's represented LSU. I mean, think about it. Have you heard a peep from Dylan Cruz other than the ping of the bat and the ball leaving the yard from him the last 3 years? I mean, I remember when he showed up, there was a big push within the media department of really trying to promote him, right? They were going to put him, on billboards and, really. And I think early on he was like, not my deal. I don't want any of that. Bregman, if you remember, he let you know, which I had no problem with. He let you know how much he was working. That there was all the stories of the lights being on at the box at midnight and Paul Maneri going up and pulling up, and there's only one person there, and Bregman's, taking BP off the machine in an empty box. I mean, there's these tales of Bregman just putting in crazy, crazy work at these odd hours at a time. But by all accounts, Cruz is the same way. He's a guy that really, if he wasn't in class, he was at the box. He was in the cages. He was in the weight room. He was in the film room. He was out catching, fly balls. It still is always working. So, I think from our standpoint, people that have covered him, supported him, fan base, man, it'd be awesome to see him get the Golden Spikes Award.
Would it be a great if you want to play like the optics of it all, would it be great for college baseball to give
that's what I'm saying.
To give it to a 3-year guy that
I think that I don't know what who hands away whose choice is the Golden Sport. I'm sorry for my ignorance.
Well, no,
on this.
there's so many awards in baseball.
Right.
It's not your fault that
But the Golden Spikes is the Heisman Trophy.
Right.
Right. It's the ultimate.
But who you're asking? Who
I know that the New York Downtown Athletic Club presents the Heisman Trophy. I don't know if that's an NCAA award for the goal. I'm just saying it would look
MLBPA.
That's who it is.
The Major League Baseball Players Association.
That's who created it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a hell of an award.
Yeah, it
right?
is.
So if you've got wow. Goodness gracious. So, that's pretty much Major League Baseball telling you who they believe is the best player in college baseball. I haven't watched. I've heard a lot about Caglione play, and I'm sure I'm shredding that last name. But the kid at Florida, the two-way guy. Even Todd Walker. Was kind of stumping for him a little bit when I was watching the SEC Network when they were talking about Player of the Year. That Cruz took home.
Back-to-back years. First person to ever do it twice.
And, when I heard that, I was kind of like, damn. And I know Walker can't show his LSU bias all the time, and maybe he was trying to steer a little bit, a little further left than he needed. But, Cruz, for my opinion, I mean, has been the best player in college baseball. It feels like unanimously for the last
It's almost
2
a
years.
lifetime
Field player,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Like,
almost a lifetime achievement award too for somebody
Exactly.
like that. Where it's if he didn't win, it'd be a little bit like Peyton Manning not winning the Heisman. You know, where it's like or Sam Bradford, where he shows up 3 years in a row, and you're like, wow, he was consistent. Or Andrew Luck, I'm sorry, he's there like every year, but he doesn't get the award. It's like obviously he's one of the best players in the sport if he's there 3 years in a row.
Right.
So it feels like that would be the right thing to do, but it's also, don't get it twisted that he very much deserves it.
Yeah, yes, right. No, I'm not saying to do him a favor.
Yeah.
I just hope that the LSU
It's the best
guys,
representative of college baseball
I just
that
hope
they
the
have.
LSU guys don't split votes.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because you really could easily make the argument for both of them that they're both deserved to win the player of this year.
Right.
Right? Like, I mean, when you're talking about the 2023 edition of college baseball, those two guys are very deserved to be ranked as the number one player in the sport. So however you choose that or however you vote on that, you just kind of hope from this standpoint that those two guys don't eat themselves
alive.
Right. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
Your saving grace would be that Caglione is a sophomore, so he'll be back next year.
Right.
He'll probably be.
He's a freshman.
He's a sophomore. I'm looking right at it. I'm
Ooh,
just looking
he's
right at it. I
looking
just looked him
right
up.
at it.
I'm looking right at it. Looking right at it.
What are you looking right at?
But so you'll probably see Caglione and Tommy White go head-to-head next year for the Golden Spikes if LSU was able to continue this fortuitous run with college baseball players where Tommy's also a sophomore, or is he a freshman?
sophomore.
He's a sophomore.
Next question.
So that would be, he'll be there next year. It's kind of like what they do with the Thorpe Award in football, where it's like, oh, we won't give it to him because we have a junior here. That you kind of want to. It's not the best player. It's almost who is deserved, and you can't give it to them again.
College baseball could promote that. I mean, I don't know how, and I've not seen a lot of promotion for college baseball, but I mean, Dylan Cruz goes 1 or 2 overall, and he's a 3-year college player that ends up winning the Golden Spikes Award. I mean, that's promotion for the next decade on why you should come play college baseball. I mean, yeah,
Makes too much sense.
I mean, it does. I mean, give the guy the award, for God's sakes.
And he's batting .431.
Right. He's smashing it right now.
He's locked in.
He's on right now. So Jay Johnson was on with the boys last night.
Chipper.
He was good.
He was
He
good.
feeling himself. What was that about? You think?
We
You think
break
he's
him down, dude. We got to be loosened
no.
up a little bit.
I always know he's going to be a great interview with you guys, but I mean it's postseason. You know, what I mean
Right.
it's crunch time, right? I mean he's loose.
Yeah, well, this is kind of the feel that I've been getting from mostly him, actually, is it felt like the regional was a huge deal to get over that hump after what happened last
Bless you,
year.
Stewie.
And bless you, Stewie. And he's been kind of knocking on the door, and he wants to be in Nomine Patri et Filii et Spiritui Sancti. He wants to be like in that. He wants a national championship. It's like so bad, and I think it's a stepping stone, and that's finally something he can check off the box. It felt like the regular season, I've said this before, wasn't so much of a test as everybody wanted it to be. He knew that they were postseason bound, essentially, so to be able to host a regional and then just to get through it, it feels like that's a major relief off his shoulder, as if to say, okay, we're at least better than we were last year. Like that wore on him so badly to sit up there after Southern Miss, and just because you could see it on his face to where he was, I would rather be anywhere in the world than have to answer these questions right now because he wanted so badly to go to Omaha with that team. And so it's like, okay, you don't get there, fine, but it's like, all right, he probably went straight back to work. And you could probably see that in the portal to go get a Paul Skeens, to get a Tommy White. And now for him to essentially double down on the pressure that he puts on himself and puts on LSU baseball to bring those two guys in, he knows it's Omaha national championship or bust. So to be able to get through the regional, it probably was like, okay, we're as good as I think we are.
And they're built for these weekends
They're
coming
built
up.
for this.
They're built for this weekend coming up. They're not so much built for last weekend, right? But, look, once you get past this weekend, it turns into that style of play.
Again.
I mean, Omaha is all hands on deck. I mean, you're
SEC tournament.
Absolutely. 2 weeks
Right.
of it, I mean, not just a week. So, yeah, I mean, I feel more confident about them this weekend than I would, in any other scenario in the postseason.
He wouldn't give up his weather guy either. I asked him. He said
He felt very confident about his weather guy.
Yeah, I don't know who that guy is.
He was like,
He
I
go
got
to jail for him.
He was like, I got an underground guy.
Yeah, I'm not telling you. I don't know who it is, but I mean, hopefully he has to lead on him again this weekend.
That's
So don't give him
It
up.
was a
rat
very
steer.
confident,
I
like,
mean,
That's my guy. Might as well be Mother Nature.
maybe it's old JC. Jesus Christ.
Oh.
I mean, I'm not into weather.
All I
You
know
are
about
a big weather guy.
I count on Cap.
yeah,
right.
that's what I was trying to think of his first name. It's TC.
That's right. Make sure to hit that like button, share button, comment button. We'll talk about more with Chris Blair coming up here at 8:15 this morning with LSU baseball and LSU Kentucky coming up. This Zion stuff is a mess.
It's so good, though.
This is a mess.
Dylan
So
Cruz to
entertaining.
Zion Williamson.
It feels like Zion Williamson and Ja Morant are in a fierce race on who can blow it faster,
Who can be trashier?
or just who can blow it.
Yeah.
Zion's,
like-
well, Zion's
Zion
blown
blew
it.
it.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, they're all blowing it. I mean, like, they're definitely doing that.
Kept it in.
But this is it. Really and truly, I know that we're all gonna laugh about it. We're all gonna make jokes about it. But this is sad, man, to see this happening to Zion at this point in his career, because Zion's gotten to a point where, you know, look, he's had a lot of people defend him. He's had a lot of people give him passes on stuff that just about 3 or 5 years before Zion would have gotten to the league, the stuff that he is doing just purely basketball-wise, a lot of people would have been condemned for, right? Just sitting, being healthy, admitting that you're healthy, not playing in playoff games and play-in games as the number one pick. For whatever reason, I mean, Zion's gotten some pushback on it, but in the real grand scheme of what and how athletes have been treated in that scenario and in that position has been not as severe as it could have been, right? I mean, there's a lot of people that wonder, where is Zion? Where is all this money that you've invested into this number one overall pick? Where is it going? Because when people see him, the majority of the time, he looks out of shape. I mean, I was looking at that Angel Reese and Karl Anthony Towns video that features Zion Williamson. I mean, we're a month and a half since the season's been over. I mean, if they filmed that with Angel Reese, that's happened within the last 3 weeks. Zion still looks out of shape. I'm serious. I mean, he still looks like he's not committed to getting his body right. I mean, so look, I know that this stuff that's playing out on social media, it's I mean, it's a train wreck. I mean, you can't take your eyes away from it. But I mean, this is Zion, 5 years in the league, that's never really answered a serious question about why are you not playing? Like, why are you not on the floor, right? I mean, it's always kind of been like, I don't know, I want to play. Doctors tell, it's kind of always, and then you get, you have your stepdad still in the media within the last couple of years, still kind of, defending and taking up, which is fine. And I'm not talking that, and that's been great for our show, right? But at some point, Zion's got to, he's got to step up and he's got to answer the questions. He's got to take responsibility. And I mean, to be caught in what he's caught in right now, that's playing out for all of us to see, right? I mean, where, he's promising things to people that he's got other people doing that. I mean, like, you can get an inside look. I mean, he's spinning.
Yeah.
Like he's in a bad spot, right? Like, I mean, like, not only on social media, and I mean, it wasn't
as bad when he just put the picture out there of the girl. Obviously, it was questionable, and I was like, this is weird. Like, but then I was like, it's his business. Like, we can't be that.
I knew
mad
it was going to be. I knew that was going to be a disaster.
I mean, God.
When he was, I mean, who knew that Zion had a girlfriend in this room? Raise your hand.
No.
Exactly. So when he's announcing that he is a gender,
Yes.
Of the baby, you're like, this ain't going to be good.
Right.
There's way too many people out there for Zion not to be exclusive with somebody.
Yes.
That there's going to be somebody that says, well, what about me? Right? And Mariah Mills has taken it to a whole nother level
She did.
of the what about me social media post. I mean, not only has she given vivid details about their
Interaction.
sexcapades
Very
within the last week and a half. This morning, if you're paying attention on Reddit and Twitter, there is video that is now being leaked that I can promise you ain't coming from Zion. It's coming from somebody on the other side. And just when you thought that it can't get worse, it's boiling over for Big Z right now. So yesterday I will say that the social media memes on this story are just, I mean, they will live on forever.
How many more will come out?
But I don't, if you're the Pelicans, like really, like if you're the Pelicans at this point, like I'm way beyond pissed.
But if I'm the Pelicans, also I'm getting my
pissed.
PR people.
I'm pissed.
On you.
I'm pissed. What Katie? Like
I know
you don't know what you don't know. Like I mean, if you're Pelicans PR, you'd have been like, Z, you didn't tell us about Mariah. You know what I mean?
didn't tell us
like,
you were spitting in mouth.
I mean, yeah, right.
I don't know if that's a conversation you have with the PR
we were all
team.
good with baby mama. We were all good. Everything
Set
was
up the
good.
lights for you.
Everything was good.
You're so
And
wholesome.
then the next thing you know, last
How
week
many
you were telling her you're
mouths
going to
are
move her to
there?
New Orleans. I mean,
Oh,
she's
it's such a mess.
she's screenshotting the text.
All of that, which could be fabricated.
Going down
if he
in the
were,
DMs.
if he were trying to backpedal
Katie,
out of this,
it
or
is.
had
It's
a
rolling
really good
downhill.
PR
It's rolling
person,
downhill.
Well, they
Zion.
pay off
Down in the
Mariah
DMs.
and they have her say that she fabricated all this. That's it. That's
She
the
ain't
move.
you don't fabricate that.
That's the move
If-
right now, though.
Yeah, if you want to fabricate something, you don't do something as visceral as saying that you spit in my mouth last week. That's not a made-up thing. That's not something that you come up with off the rip.
If I'm going
I mean-
public, if I'm going like
He ain't talking
tweet.
She's
If
not talking about French kissing either.
I mean,
Like that thing's dangling.
I mean, it was that thread was just like, I mean, you were like,
Oh my God! It couldn't get. It starts off so.
oh my God.
Okay, we're on 10. Let's see if we can get to 12.
my
Like,
God.
oh my God!
Oh
and
God.
the sad thing is, not even the sad thing. Just one of the. I guess. I mean, it's all funny. It's sad, but it is also hilarious. But it's that Zion seems so wholesome in all of these. Like
know.
oh, I'll move you down. Like he's so like it seems like he's genuine.
It does.
And so I think he's caught up in being a superstar a little bit and doesn't know the amount of clout chasing he's dealing with in terms of what these people will do to be able to get the bag, because that's the world you live in, Zon. When you sign a $120 million contract, that money ain't just yours if you want to be stepping out in public, if you want to be sliding DMs. Like everybody has an angle when you obtain that amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think that they're in it because they like you. Like,
I mean,
I bet the strippers like
see,
you too.
But see, that's the deal. I mean, come on, we're 5 years in.
right.
You know what I mean? Like, if you recall, Zion got caught up in some drama at Duke.
Dude, that was college. Like, easy, though.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It's a great lesson if you have like true representation around you to be like, look, Zion, you're gonna skate on this forever. Like, I mean, you're a college kid. You're on a college campus. There's all sorts of ways for y'all to communicate with one another. You got burned, right? Like, live and learn, man, because next year you're going to be you're going to be working for somebody. You're going to be representing somebody. You're going to be building a brand, and this stuff can happen and explode real quick. 5 years into the league, and this is what you're dealing with in a public setting. It's like, man, at some point, I'm sure the Pelicans thought Zion Williamson was going to be the face of the franchise.
Absolutely.
I'm sure the NBA thought at some point that, hey, Zion's going to be like one of the primary marketing faces of the league. They're going to be playing and putting the games on television more than anybody. That stuff is what he doesn't either realize or he just doesn't take into account at this point or doesn't care.
He's got to care.
Right? Well, I mean, you would think, because I would imagine in just the conversations that I've had with people around Zion, and the plan for Zion all along has been to build a commodity, a brand, this thing that is something that everybody wants a piece of. So if that's the goal, right? This ain't the way to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, there's got to be somebody around him that's saying, Zion, look, if you're gonna mess around with like strippers and porn stars, like you need to invest into a condom company,
Right?
Like, or you know what I mean? Like, because if you get yourself into a situation where this could happen, that's just not going to be good for anything that you're trying to do with your life. You know what I mean? Like,
and what an idiot.
It's
wear a condom or be like Drake and go in the bathroom and he empties his out
no doubt.
so that nobody can go
Right.
in there
He
and
puts
get
like
him.
hot sauce in them.
Yeah, he puts like Tabasco sauce in him to kill the
I thought he just emptied it.
No,
I mean, I'm sure he's got all types of tactics.
you
But I
have
mean,
to.
if I'm Zion Williamson, I'm referencing people like Drake.
Yes.
I got access to you, Drake. Like, what do you do about groupies?
Exactly.
Like, if you're Zion Williamson, you've got groupies like that type of level.
Yes.
You know, and you have access to these people. And Drake, what do you do when you get on your tour bus and there's 6 girls sitting there buck naked?
Right.
You know, he's like, I do the business, but I make sure to do this. You know what I mean? Like, so, you know, definitely don't knock one of them up, Zion.
Right.
Right? Like, I mean, and then especially if you got another one on the side, that if you throw a gender reveal party on social media, don't think she's not going to light you up, man.
God.
Like, and in one summer day, your brand, this commodity, all this hard work by people around you is gone.
It could still be fixed with the right PR people. They could still go into full denial mode. I could tweet out right now that he spit in my mouth and he was going to move me to
You
New
could
Orleans.
catch the bag, Katie. Shit, people would believe it at this point. I mean, the man's out there.
No, that's what I mean.
But it feels like
How do you think we have our access?
I've had the big steer. Now I want the young buck. But doesn't it feel like he could have avoided all of this? Like, you don't.
Yes.
Why did we do this 2 days ago? Was she like pushing him to be like, we have to do a gender reveal. We have to make an announcement.
I
Like,
can't imagine that was
hey,
Zion's idea.
exactly. But then still, you have to realize
That's no
Zion
man's
is
idea
Zion, and be like, I'm not
I'm getting
putting any.
roasted. Drake knocked up a stripper.
Oh, you did. Yeah. Ask who's the rapper that sells cocaine.
All of
Pusha
them?
T.
Pusha T for real.
It's a porn. She's a porn star.
My bad.
Same thing.
I mean, but by the numbers, if he's only gotten one, he's still winning. You know
Well,
what I mean?
Zion's only up to
Because you would
one.
imagine. Yeah, but I mean, how old is Drake? 40? Zion's 25.
Right.
Drake's like
Zion ain't even 25. Zion's like 23. 22.
How old is Drake?
Drake is like 30,
33?
33 or 31, something like that. Like,
He's been famous a minute.
He has been
He's been famous a
for
decade.
So long.
He's 36.
That's what I
Doesn't
was
feel it.
thinking.
That's good for
Yeah.
him.
It is.
I know,
mean, he's
love that.
mega rich, Coach. He's probably
Yeah,
got
you
some
think?
blood that's keeping him 26.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Damn. Hey, Withers, it's 2023. Ain't nobody wearing condoms anymore. Well, I mean,
Well, whatever
you
they're
are if you-
wearing,
I mean,
Zion needs to be invested in the best of that.
I know nobody wants to wear a condom, but you want a baby?
There's
Anyone?
That's not the. I mean, whatever
No.
y'all want to do, especially whatever about I mean,
Cordell
wear a
Music, I'm
condom,
telling
don't.
you, Cordell Music says it best. This is why locker rooms need old veterans.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, this is why locker rooms need veterans. For every Shaquille O'Neal that was a rookie in 1992, there was a Dennis Scott that sat right next to him that said, hey, Rook, I'm going to be your best friend, but I've been in this league for 5 years. You've never been to New York City yet? You hadn't flown into L.A. with a 2-day break?
Miami.
You hadn't been to Dallas yet?
Love
Like
Dallas.
Zion? I mean, remember Brandon Ingram with Zion?
He loves
What's
Dallas.
y'all's favorite place to play? Zion's like, I love Dallas. And everybody's like, oh, yeah, he loves Dallas. I mean,
getting lost in Dallas.
Did.
but that's true, man.
Pulled a
I mean,
hammy
you
in
got
Dallas.
yourself an old veteran inside of the locker room. I mean, if you remember Jordan telling The Last Dance, I mean, like when he saw his veterans, he was like, I can't hang out with these guys. You know what I mean? He's
Cocaine
like,
Bulls.
Yeah, he was like, I mean, I got nothing in common with any of these guys. So, I mean, he would just kind of lock himself into his room and just play basketball, right? I mean, rare is that going to happen.
And I think that's part of the bigger issue is Zion is a little bit lost without basketball because if you've heard the stories from
I mean, I've heard that before, but he's missed way too much time.
That's what I'm saying. He's got
healthy,
nothing to-
but healthy.
Ish,
Healthy.
I guess.
Healthy. He's a player that if I'm healthy and he's got the cachet to say, put me on the floor. At
He's
this
Anthony
point,
Davis.
put me on the floor. Like
Well, he's gonna be out for
the
paternity
fact
leave
that he
now.
came out in the last time we saw him admitting with a smile that he was 100% and doing 360 windmill dunks an hour before a play-in game, and he watched it in street clothes is he's got to get the public back, in my opinion. I mean, that leaves such a bad taste in the supporting public and the fan base's mouth and perception of you, where your life is on the line. You're 23 years old. You're the number one pick. If you're not healthy now and you're telling me you can play, and somebody's telling you can't, Zion, you just signed a max contract. They're not going to deal you. They're not going to get rid of you. They can't. Go slam your fist on the desk and tell David Griffin, I'm playing tonight. If you've got to sit me the first round of the playoffs, okay. But I'm getting us in the playoffs. And the fact that he's out there smiling, 360 dunking, and still showing up a month and a half after the season's over, looking like he's still uncommitted. I mean, that commercial with Angel Reese and Karl Anthony Towns, I mean,
he's out of shape.
He's out of shape. I mean, it's just it's a cautionary tale. It's a tragic story. I just hope that it's not the next decade of premier athletes. I mean, if you're the NBA, you got a big issue on your hand with Ja Morant and Zion Williamson, right? And I'm not even talking about just, but they had to think when they were drafted, like, that's a 10-year plan for us in marketing, right? I mean, these two guys are going to be revolutionary. And then you start thinking about their backstory, that they're from the same area. They played on the same AAU team growing up. I mean, they go 1-2 in the draft. They finish first, second, rookie of the year. I mean, it's like all this stuff it's like they should be, at this point, squaring off in the Western Conference semifinals every year. Instead, I mean, it's a circus on social media with both of them, and they've both blown more opportunities in the last 6 months than 95% of the league will ever get. Ever. I mean, that Powerade and Nike deal that Ja Morant had swiped from him, I'd imagine that those are lifetime type deals for 95% of the league if they could get offered that. 98% of the league. I mean, Zion's got a true chance to be a face of a franchise that's got some real talent, young coaching, and a aggressive front office, and he decides to not play when he's healthy. I mean, it's just...
If you're the NBA, this is not the way that you saw this going in terms of social media.
I mean,
you got two of the most viral sensations to maybe ever come out in the last decade in terms of being able to put up highlights and feature and using 10-second organic clips where this is the most exciting thing you'll see today. And instead it's guns and porn star spit. And it's like, oh, this went the opposite way I thought it was going to go with these two.
Is Mariah a porn star too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knocked up the stripper, and he's got the porn star pissed.
That's a love triangle if I've ever heard of it.
Why? He could get non-strippers and non-porn stars, I think.
I mean, everybody's got their... look, I'm not...
he just likes...
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going at what he
easiest,
likes. I'm not going at his sexual preference.
It's not like...
Well, if you're
you think he's putting in like time and
he's
effort?
He's also 23.
Well, I know, but he doesn't need that. He could get...
Yeah, but it's so much... It's so easy.
He would listen to that at 40. At 23, he'd be like...
I didn't even know this was bad. I didn't know this could happen.
Man.
Oh, my God.
I mean, and then you look up, and, I mean, I think that Nikola Jokic played the perfect basketball game.
30, 20, and 10?
Did you see his stat line?
It's never happened in the finals.
I mean, like, and he made it look...
There's your face of the league.
He made it look like he was stealing from an NBA team. He made it look like he was just, like, kind of nonchalantly walking through and picking up a triple-double in the finals. 32, 21, and 10 was his stat line last night as they go 109-94 to beat the Heat in Game 3 and take a 2-1 lead in the season. They got no answer for him. I mean, they played Kevin Love last night on
They played Cody
Jokic.
Zeller on him.
Well, I mean, that won't happen again.
They did it in Game 1. And, well, it felt like the Heat had a game plan after what you saw in Game 2, whatever. We talked about Eric Spoelstra and him being like, are you going to allow him to just score, not be a passer? And he was like, we're not going to divulge, any of our secrets, whatever. Like, he pretty much shut down the question with Ramona Shelburne. But they tried it again last night, wherever he didn't have a lot of assists going into the second half, and then he just methodically gets to, 10's not a lot for Jokic. He could get 15, 16, 18 if you let him. So that's somewhat, I guess, what they're still trying to do. But the 20 rebounds is the problem. You can't be having 30, 32, 21, and 10. He's just unbelievable.
His rebound to outlet pass is... I don't think I've ever seen. I really don't think that I've ever seen. Yeah, but Kevin Love used to throw it with two hands. He catches the rebound like this, and like in one motion, he flips it, and throws a Patrick Mahomes type dime to Aaron Gordon or Jamal Murray down the floor, where it is. It's almost the only person that I've ever seen. It's a water polo pass.
It's a water floating.
It's a water polo pass where he's like. But he grabs it in one motion, like he'll grab the rebound and he'll flip it, and it's like boom.
It's scary as hell.
The only person I've ever seen pass the ball like that is Magic Johnson. He had that where he could dribble and push pass like 94 feet. Mm-hmm. People. Just like a whip, like down the court. But he would do it in one motion. Was almost why it was unguardable. It wasn't like a kind of like a basic. Chest bounce pass in basketball, he would just kind of the suddenness of it would almost shock you.
The pressure he put on you,
right?
Because he's going at showtime. He's moving up and down the court,
and
this man's standing still.
He's like standing in the paint, and he just grabs it and flips it, and it's like
it's your dad playing against your kids. Is what it what it looks like. Wherever you're, 40 and they're 10, and you're just I'm just taller and stronger.
And smarter. He's always playing ahead. He's thinking ahead. He's never having to wait and
the game.
Think. He does.
In a different way.
He sees it very differently. I think that's why he plays what people to perceive as slow. Mm-hmm. I'm listening to all these podcasts around the NBA right now, and the huge debate, I guess, they're trying to think of these, is Jokic entertaining? Is he do you enjoy watching him play? And I fall in the category where I really do love watching him play. And the argument is he doesn't play above the rim.
Right.
He doesn't fly up and down the floor. He doesn't have this, just off the charts athleticism that pulls you in, that makes you, kind of grips you. But if you watch him play, and you respect the game of basketball, and I'm not saying that people that don't enjoy it don't respect it. It's just he plays the game almost with he would be like a 5-tool player in baseball where he can just do everything, right? He makes dribbling look very, very easy on a floor full of pros. He's the best passer out there.
That's if you're really watching it. You're watching it in that way and watching him be methodical. But other people are there's no LeBron, there's no Kevin Durant, there's no superstar power.
No Zion, no Ja.
Right. He doesn't have that. But it's just really good basketball. It's not like that superstar power and that personality, and you're entertained by watching LeBron get hurt and make a big deal out of it, or what, you know what I mean? Jokic doesn't give you any of that. It's just good freaking basketball.
No,
it's
is.
Wild to watch him.
Just it's like a chokehold. You kind of look up and you're down 10. Mm-hmm. It's like you just he's tough, man. He's fun to watch. To me, he's fun to watch. To me, I really enjoy watching him play, and just how easy the game comes to him. And really, I think it always is the best compliment of any player in any sport. Is always, and to me, that's why Magic Johnson was so great, was that he made everybody else around him better, right? Everybody kind of picked up their game before, around Magic Johnson. The same happens for Jokic. He's surrounded by a really talented cast. I think he's got some really good players.
That team is built.
They're a scary team, man.
His two-man game with Murray is so fun to watch.
Jamal Murray is a legitimate superstar.
He really is.
Aaron Gordon's a perfect fit for Jokic. The way that he can sprint up and down the floor, the way that he defends next.
Takes so much pressure off of him.
He does. And really, he's a smart player in his own right. And to me, I think the one that I love the most out of their starting five is Michael Porter Jr. I just think that he's kind of the closest to the new age super, the 6'8" guy that can play point, but can also post you up and play big. He's just.
He was I feel like he was kind of the secret sauce of their success, because every year that he was out he's had multiple back surgeries, I believe. He would have been a top overall pick. Where did he go?
Missouri.
Missouri. Yeah, I knew it was
right.
a weird
For a year.
Yeah, and he got hurt there.
Yeah, was it Quanzo Martin was his college coach? Yeah.
I don't know who his coach was, but I know he had the back problems.
Right, and everybody was like looking exactly what you're saying, like, oh, this is the next up, where you're 6'8", you can shoot threes, you can run the point, and you're explosive, and then you never got to see the full product. And Denver took a chance on him early in the lottery and has kind of put him through like progressions of, all right, he's hurt again, whatever it takes to rehab him. But if you get this version of him, where they've kind of made him kind of spot-up shooter, actually, where he just takes a bunch of threes, but that was something that they saw, and they invested in talent, and the risk paid off, it seems like, at this point. If you get one championship with him, that pick paid off. But the cast and characters, and adding Jeff Green into that mix, who is
coach.
Do you hear him coaching up Aaron Gordon?
Great.
Look out for Christian Braun.
Yeah, where did that come from?
How about that cat?
Everybody's talking about Austin Reeves.
You want to talk about somebody with some bounce and some explosion, and not only that, he must feel like he deserves minutes, because the minutes he got last night, he was going right at Jimmy Butler. I mean, if you look at the way he was scoring, like he was taking the ball straight at Butler, but I mean, his natural athleticism. He had an open floor steal where he just kind of picks
nasty.
it. And I mean, coach, he's like LeBron dunks, cocks it. I mean, like makes it look real, like
easy.
Damn.
Explosive.
Yes.
And I know I'm saying this because he's white, but that's what it was. It was sudden.
But
I didn't expect that man had that bounce.
When you watch him move, he doesn't look like a white player in the NBA.
No, he's not.
He moved. He's got a suddenness and a quick twitch to him that is like, whoa, this cat belongs. Like, where has he been? Like, he's a problem.
And he played angry.
Because around Jokic and Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon, he's a whole different problem. Like, he's a whole different issue. And the way he was playing last night, he was playing pissed. Like, he was
fight for these minutes.
When he was catching the ball, he was attacking. When the ball was on him, he was defending. I mean, you could see he was talking. I was like, good Lord, this guy. I mean, they were trying to take him off the floor. Like, Malone, you could tell, was like, his minutes are being extended, but I can't really get him. He played 50. I mean, he had 15 last night.
No, he played it as a way to keep himself on the floor. It's exactly right. Like, I can't pull him right now. And
he couldn't.
And that's what it takes.
I couldn't believe he wasn't on the floor at the end.
That's what it takes for a finals win, right? You have people that step up that you don't expect to actually see. Everybody has like one or two games. You saw it with the Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals, to where you haven't seen. I can't remember his name.
Caleb Clark.
Yeah, you haven't seen him since.
Yeah.
And
Right,
so
Caleb Martin.
Caleb Martin. And you don't have. You haven't seen him since, but you have people that step up in different roles where you're like, oh God, I guess that was the Christian Braun game.
Yeah.
He
was impressive. First round pick out of Kansas.
National champion.
Was Braun. Yep, national champ last year. Remember, we're brought to you daily by Katie's Restaurant, located down in New Orleans. Get in touch with Katie's. They're online, katiesinmidcity.com. katiesinmidcity.com is where you can find them online. They're located on Iberville Street. They got great menu selections to choose from down in New Orleans at Katie's. Whether it's St. Louis-style pizza you're looking for or some of New Orleans' favorites, get in touch with Katie's by visiting them on Iberville Street or stop in and see them online at katiesinmidcity.com. Don't forget about their sister restaurant, Francesca's, which is a sandwich deli located over in Lakeview. You can find them there. They're always online as well at katiesinmidcity.com. We'll be back with more of the Jordy Culotta Show, as always, built by R&B Builders.
Dunk is so nasty.
Donaldsonville Glass and Body, the trusted name in frame, body, and automotive paint repair since 1977. They have served their customers for over 45 years. You can find them online at dgbauto.com or stop in and see them Railroad Avenue and Division Street out in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Look, they can help you with your insurance claims. They can make the repair process as stress-free as possible. I'm speaking from experience here. I've got numerous windshields, body repair, all done by Kenny and the crew over at Donaldsonville Glass and Body. They are, without question, the most well-equipped shop in the area. Stop in and see them today. Shop them online, dgbauto.com, or stop in and see the crew over in Division Street in Donaldsonville, Louisiana. Donaldsonville Glass and Body. Hey fellas, it's Jordy Culotta for my friends over at Men's Total Health. Guys, do you suffer from fatigue, decreased libido, erectile dysfunction, weight gain or loss of muscle mass, signs of depression, anxiety, hair loss, mental fog, general loss of interest? Then you might be suffering from low testosterone. Go see my friend Mike Roach and his great team over at Men's Total Health over in Metairie at menstotalhealth.net online. And stop in and see how they can change your life today. A simple shot and some knowledge from Mike Roach can get you back up, moving with your energy, get your sex drive back, build your muscle mass, make you feel young again. All online, menstotalhealth.net. Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
We're all from different places and backgrounds. We've each experienced our own versions of life, but in the end, we're all on the same team. I'm part of that team, along with these players in purple and gold.
Kayshawn Buddha, Malik Neighbors, Miles Frazier,
Kyron Lacy,
Greg Brooks. Whether on the field or in the courtroom, your team matters.
So join our team. Make a difference.
Bet. Let's get it done.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Here you go.
Thanks. And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Are you looking for sound financial advice? Then get in touch with Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. You can call him today at 225-261-8262 or email him daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. If you're planning for retirement, saving for college for children or grandchildren, or just looking for sound investment opportunities, get in touch with Daniel today, 225-261-8262, located on Magnolia Square Drive in Central. Daniel Newman of Edward Jones.
Don't let the name fool you. Men's Total Health has offerings for the ladies, too. Guys, is your wife or partner suffering from urinary incontinence, low sexual desire, or pain during sex? Then the O-Shot might be for her. Don't let it scare you. It's totally natural. It's PRP. And Mike Roach and the crew at Men's Total Health will make you as comfortable as you can be. Contact me for more information, Katie at jordyculotta.show.com, and I'm happy to tell you everything that Men's Total Health has to offer for the ladies.
Hey Tiger fans, when you're traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, make sure to visit Tom and Wright Granning at Go Mart and On The Go Deli, where you can fill up your tank and your belly. Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need on your trip. Located at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left. Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, where the Po' Boys are so good you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
Old heads. Lead Jimmy. Welcome back here. Jordy Culotta Show, as always, built by RMB Builders. Man.
Twitter's electric.
It is on fire.
This is what it was made for.
It is on fire. Poor Big Zion, man. He is.
Stay off social today. It'll go away. Somebody will do something else.
He's gonna right.
Spit in someone else's mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Just pray for a news cycle, man.
Give it a week.
No, not today's world.
24 hours.
I think it's 24 hours. Zion he's made it 48.
I don't know. Yeah, I was about to say it's been 48.
But I mean, the story won't go away because he keeps more.
It keeps getting. Yeah, she keeps adding every day.
Right,
but does he come out and try to defend that?
No.
Like something.
Wait,
has
I think his camp did release a statement yesterday.
Yeah, you have to release some kind of statement.
Let's see what Zion's camp had to say about the drama going on right now. We're all aware.
You can't just sit on it. You can't.
I don't know if y'all have seen this. Yes, dude. If you're Zion, you go and crawl in a dark hole and just. Well, I think that's what he's been doing. But I think you just gotta hope it goes away at some point. There's nothing you can say.
No, but if people still keep coming out of the woodwork,
it's not people. I mean, it's just 2 people.
There could be more.
Well, and the entire internet.
If there's more, you'd know by now.
You think?
I would think so.
It could be a calculated thing. Maybe it's like one day at a time.
No, I don't think the Army's moving.
I mean,
like that.
At this point, you got to go Tiger Woods defense, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like you got to say, hey Zion, shut that door.
Yeah.
Like sit down.
Yeah.
Is there any more? Like we need to know.
Right.
And if there is, you need to get him on the phone and say how much.
Yeah.
Like how much is it going to cost for you to keep your mouth shut? I mean, didn't Tiger pay Rachel Yucatel like $10 million? I mean,
supposedly.
I mean, you know, the one that she was on the cover, he was like, I mean, because it was snowballing on him. You know, I mean, people were coming out of the woodworks and they were like, Tiger.
Right.
Like, let me see your phone.
Yeah.
We got to call all of them.
Yeah.
You know, I mean.
Or you do what Ja did and you go to rehab or like a weekend.
That's what Tiger did too.
Counseling.
Yeah. I mean,
then you come back and you don't do it again publicly. Like Ja.
They did the car wash with Tiger. You know, I mean, but what they had to do immediately was send him to a plastic surgeon.
Right.
To get his teeth and his face fixed after he got a 7-iron to the head.
On Thanksgiving.
I mean,
just be thankful.
Wait, didn't he get like caught cheating on Thanksgiving? Tough day to get caught.
Yeah, wasn't she like chasing him down the street?
She caught his ass too.
Yeah, she got him.
Jordy's saying like there's a reason the car was.
Yeah.
Well, there's a reason why you never saw him.
Right.
Yeah, and it was up against a tree.
Yeah, I mean it was.
The windows were busted out. You think she stopped swinging?
There's no mug shot. There's no hospital. You know, because Nike got up in there, or his representation, and was like, "We've got Code 5 alarm. Like we've got to protect the king."
Right.
And they put his ass on a private jet and got him supposedly to the best plastic surgeon in the world and said, fix this man to make him look like he did 4 hours ago.
$1 million man.
Right? Like, I mean.
Imagine that. I mean, Tiger's been under the knife more than any probably, I don't know, just circumstance-wise, of the amount of care that's been placed in doctors' hands around Tiger Woods is unbelievable. Like, fix him. Make it better.
I know.
But, dude, now that you say that, he used to have kind of like the dead tooth, and then when he came back, it was perfect.
I mean,
so it probably did get.
Yeah.
Probably caught a little
Got a
fat.
crown on that thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, there's some
there, like, before and
some people
afters?
around in golf that, I mean, have said like that 10-hour stretch of Tiger's life where, I mean, like, you know, like he called. I think his first call was like to Mark, his agent, the guy that left the firm that Tiger was
Steinberg?
with. Mark Steinberg. He left.
Good guess.
IMG.
You know he's Jewish.
and like did
It
his
would've
own
worked.
thing because of Tiger. Like Tiger was his sole deal. You
Yeah,
know? Like
I need a handler.
we're just riding with Tiger, and they like, you know, like choppered in, like scooped him up. And
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I mean, that's like Succession.
Absolutely.
Where you're just like,
Absolutely.
oh, you have this much money. Like, look at what we can do to make sure that you're okay.
Right. Or you make us this much money.
Right.
Like we have to protect our
Investment.
asset.
Uh-huh.
I mean, like go get him. Get him off of the grass.
And then
Yeah,
straight to
like, don't let-
Hattiesburg, Mississippi.
And I mean, imagine like the neighborhood. Like they had to see like what was going on. Like,
you
oh
know it.
god,
Hear
that's-
stuff.
yeah, it's
I mean, you know what that
somebody
sounds
saw,
like? I mean,
and you have to go door to door
A
and be
car
like,
hitting a fire hydrant in the middle of the night, and
In a tree?
and a pissed off wife chasing you down the
she broke out all of his windows in
the
his car.
driveway. I mean, like
How
what a
entertaining.
scene.
I know.
Tiger probably don't remember any of it.
Got the Zion
Oh, apology.
message.
Oh, let's see it.
Read it, Stewie.
Why me?
This is you want to be an agent? This is
Oh,
your shot.
There you go.
We would like to address recent rumors and false accusations.
Oh.
We understand that some individuals may wish to spread falsehoods for their own personal
Told
gain or
y'all.
agenda. But we want to make it clear that these claims are baseless and without merit. We refuse to engage in any further speculation or gossip, as it detracts from the joyous occasion of welcoming a new addition to our family. Our focus remains on nurturing a happy and healthy environment for our loved ones. We ask that the public respect our privacy during this time and refrain from spreading false claims or engaging in harmful behavior. We appreciate the support of our fans and community during this challenging time. Thank you.
What did I say at the beginning when we were talking about this? And his PR agent needs to come out and say that that was untrue. And you can say that anybody fabricated tweets or Snapchats. That's what they did.
I mean, that is
That's
the right play.
move.
Well,
It is
you
the
don't.
right play.
The only thing that you have to be scared of is if you double down and she has video of y'all too.
Right. She
And
does
then
have
she's like,
video.
she does.
Well, she did.
It's out.
She released it this morning.
So
Oh, I didn't see it.
That was her video.
Yeah, I mean, it
Well, yeah,
wasn't
she
him.
said-
I mean, I just feel like, yeah, like
It's
if
cool.
he knows that, if he, like, this PR person should have sat down with him and they're like, if there is any other evidence, any video, we can't say this. So you have to be absolutely sure,
People lie.
right? Well, I know, but like,
I mean-
and then if a video comes out, then that means nothing, what they just put out.
That's where they're at.
What's the video? It's her, it's Mariah and Zion?
Yes,
The
with
spit in the mouth one?
Zion and
They're clapping
And you,
cheeks.
You can tell that it's the two of them.
I think they have a face shot of him.
Let's see.
I don't think you could pull up the.
Nah,
But if
I'm
there's,
not putting
if there's
it
a
up.
question about it, though, he can fight that if it's questionable. If
No
you
doubt.
can't really
I
tell
mean,
it's
there's
him.
like
No doubt.
this like bad.
He's in a spot though.
And I mean, okay, maybe he had sex with Mariah too, whatever. But like, doesn't mean he told her he was going to move her to New Orleans and all that business,
But
right?
Mariah kind of followed it up with the Snapchat screenshot. I mean, he's taking it from all angles.
Yeah, he is.
You know, I mean, they're getting him from land, air, and sea right now. I mean, like,
This is
there's
bad.
nowhere to hide, Zion.
This is
Yeah.
bad,
I
fellas.
mean, I thought we could put you on a boat, but they got him out there, dude.
Uh-huh.
We're gonna put you on a plane, but they're shooting at us up here too.
They got us.
Just
They
stay
got
in
our
that new
position.
house, dude. Just stay tucked away down there. They're knocking on your door, man.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. That's what you have to be terrified of. If there's more out there, and we say this that it's false, what's going to stop her from being like,
Right.
tweet, put it out?
Yeah.
Like,
Nothing.
she's got nothing to lose.
No.
She's already very public about what her behavior
She's
is.
a porn star.
Right.
I don't
So
think she's trying to protect her
See, I mean,
virtue.
let's see if the followers went up. I'm sure it did.
Oh,
Can we
had
play the
to.
video?
Had to have it.
No.
Huge
I
day.
will not.
All right, so we're gonna talk, but we're talking to Chris Blair about LSU baseball coming up here in 15 minutes. Hey, Stewie, pull up this video. Anybody see Joe Burrow hitting tanks?
Tanks.
Yeah.
Out of Cincinnati
Cincinnati, like,
Stadium?
legit home
I mean,
runs.
like legit smashing the baseball.
Didn't his dad say he wanted to be baseball was his first love?
Basketball actually was his it was his love, but baseball was the love growing up, like as a kid. But then he turned into like a legit hooper in Cincinnati. I mean, in Ohio. I mean, he was recognized on like all state teams. I mean, he was a he was a hell of a basketball player, but I mean, to see him in a major league stadium, it's that Great American Ballpark. That's where old boy got popped gambling.
Yeah.
Pete
In
Rose?
Cincinnati.
No, not Pete Rose too. But
the Alabama coach.
Bohannon.
Yeah, Bohannon.
That's so funny.
Straight out of Goodfellas.
Alabama's in the Super Regionals
I know,
now.
I love it.
Like
dude.
he must have been taking their
Bohannon,
year.
What are you doing, man? You had a good team.
What
Yeah.
he was betting. He was actively making them lose.
Bench our guy. They got Skeens going against
Skeens,
us.
give
Put
me-
200,000 on Skeens.
I'm cooked. We're not going to those supers.
But Burrow was turning on. But look at this guy, dude. Check out this cut. He knew it. Look at
The swing
Burrow,
is
dude.
violent.
Look at him.
When you get the second angle, he knows what he's doing.
What a dog.
He is.
What a dog. I mean, look, for as much as we want to compare these guys, I've seen Brady do other sports. He does not look as athletic, like in certain situations. I know these guys are premier athletes. Aaron Rodgers is an athlete. Like I would imagine
Didn't
Aaron
Brady
Rodgers
get
could pick
drafted in baseball though?
Did he get drafted?
Yeah,
in
he
baseball?
got drafted by the Red Sox.
Who did?
Tom Brady.
Did he
Out of
really?
high school. Yep.
Oh, he did get drafted out of high school. That's right. Pitcher.
Wow.
Was it a pitcher though?
Has to be.
Either a pitcher or a catcher.
I couldn't imagine him running much.
Oh,
No.
Jesus.
So it'd be
Right?
pitcher.
Gotta be pitching.
For,
Right?
Yeah, pitcher, first
But
base.
Burrow is that was the part that the first part that struck me about Burrow that I thought LSU's got a quarterback.
He was a catcher.
Yeah.
Tom Brady.
he
Brady?
was?
Wow, best athlete on the field.
Watch out now.
You were a catcher. Oh.
Center fielder, shortstop, catcher.
Yeah, played all three.
You're so talented.
Deal. Thank you,
Stud.
Mom.
You're a big deal.
But Burrow, the first time I thought like LSU's legitimately got a dude in 2018 against Miami when he like shook the pass rush and kept a play alive and like made a pass down the field. I thought, man, you haven't seen this type of athleticism from an LSU quarterback in a minute. Like it had almost been since Jordan Jefferson. I felt like really the athletic quarterback, like a guy that could make you miss in the open field, make you miss off of a blitz. Like I didn't know that, by 2019 he'd be sidestepping and like, throwing dimes down the field for touchdowns. But I mean, that immediate like, whoa, they might have a quarterback was just his natural athletic
Athleticism.
ability. And I always thought that was an underrated part about him. I think he's now
Embraced it.
I think now people respect it.
You're right.
I think it took people a while. But I mean, the Alabama game in 2019, he straight up makes people miss in the open field.
What is it? What did you say? What 2018 Georgia? Is that
I
what
was about to say Georgia. Yeah.
That's the first time you saw him in the open field, really.
In the open, but still, you could tell. I thought when he was making blitzers miss. I thought. I mean,
Yeah,
that's an
it just wasn't-
athletic move.
Yeah.
You know, what I mean, to be able to just in a phone booth make somebody who's sprinting at you miss you.
Right.
Like I'm standing still and you're running full speed at me, and you could dive at me, you could jump at my ankles, you could wrap my hips up, but I just give you one sudden move and I make you miss, like whiff. And I remember seeing him do that against Miami and thinking, whoa,
Okay.
it's been a minute since LSU's had somebody that
Flynn?
can see that. Probably Flynn, I would say.
If he doesn't get hurt,
Mettenberger had the pocket presence, but he didn't have the athleticism.
he would just go down.
Yeah, right. But he would stand back. He would stand in there.
Oh, for sure. But I'm
Right?
saying he wasn't doing the. There's no escaping the pocket and
No,
making another.
if you
man.
had him,
It
he was
a
dead.
baby
Fall,
deer.
Right? I mean, he was crumpling. But pocket presence, but the athleticism. Yeah, I mean, I would
Tom
say
Brady can do that too,
Jordan,
or could.
Brady's great at that, but Brady's so good at the fundamental of playing quarterback.
Right.
Right.
Well, I think
mean,
Burrow
like,
has both.
I think he does too.
Which
I
is
think he does
scary.
too. I think he does too. I think Burrow is.
Let's glow up.
He's
know. It's
yeah.
serious.
He's embracing the superstar.
He is.
He
If
is.
you would have showed me Joe Burrow in 2023 and Joe Burrow in 2018, I would not believe it's the same person.
You wouldn't.
I would.
They're going to do.
I would have believed that he would have become a mega millionaire between that time.
He's
and that.
tan with new teeth, with different hair. He
Mm-hmm.
looks totally different. He's going through the Tom Brady like car wash.
Yeah, he is.
Like he's jacked now. He's hitting bombs.
Mm-hmm.
He's a millionaire, bro.
I know. That's what I'm
mean-
saying. If you would have showed me, if you show a before and after of 2018 when Joe Burrow came in, you're like, oh, nice story. and you see him in 2023, you're like, oh my God, he's the face of the league.
Nathan East, if Mettenberger and Jefferson had a baby who was God, it would be Burrow.
Which Jefferson?
Jordan, I guess. I mean, athleticism and the ability to throw the ball. You know, I mean.
When I saw him throw that ball.
Who, Mettenberger?
Yeah.
Both
of them.
Jefferson never had a chance. It's so unfortunate.
Yeah.
Because he could sling a little bit.
He could swing it.
He was huge. Like, I don't think people realize how big Jordan Jefferson was.
No.
Like, back there.
Yes.
Because
huge.
Because they had him running into linebackers and defensive ends.
Yeah,
And he's, like, holding his own.
Speed option.
That was probably the dumbest of the Les Miles' offenses.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that was
Pee Wee football.
That was the worst of the worst.
Yeah, that was.
Like, I mean, as bad as Les's run was on offense, that was the bottom.
That was
like that was and I don't, and that is no disrespect to Jordan Jefferson.
No, he got handed a pile
It
of
was
shit.
no like not it just timing sucked for him. It was whatever Les was doing at that time. He was totally disconnected with the offense and would run a legitimate. It felt like elementary school.
Yeah.
I mean, like there was
We can't
there
put
was
any more in.
no passing. All the passing was, remember, it was like down the field timing where like people are running
Mirror
15-yard comebacks.
And you throw it to the opposite side of the field.
Hash
like
mark
asking,
to hash
yeah,
mark.
asking for
I mean, it
NFL
was
throws.
just.
What happened with Mettenberger after college?
He got a run with the Tennessee Titans.
He did? For how long?
4 years he was in the league.
Really?
3 years he was in the league, I think. And I think he spent a year on a practice squad.
And he played
and he was with Tennessee, whose head coach at the time was Ken Wisenhunt. And Wisenhunt was the offensive coordinator. He was the former Arizona Cardinals head coach. And Mettenberger ended up marrying his daughter.
Really?
While they were in Tennessee, which sounds like such a Mettenberger thing.
I was about to say, it's such a
I mean, if
Mettenberger
there
power
is-
play.
If there is anything more on brand of Zach Mettenberger, it would be him marrying his boss's daughter.
Oh my God.
Like, I mean,
That's
like
wild.
that is.
You're not going to re-sign me? Watch
Right.
this. I'll see you at home.
You're gonna pay for my wedding. Is what you're gonna do.
We have a joint bank account, by the way. Thanks, Ken. Dad.
And now he's an analyst at Alabama.
Okay.
He's on the Alabama staff.
I wonder how much they're expecting of him.
I'd imagine in those environments he is impressive.
Why didn't he make it in the NFL, though?
I think the
Titans were so bad.
yeah, I think it's probably a combination of things. I think, like Mettenberger is a legitimate true pocket passer. Like you got to put him behind an offensive line that can protect him, especially in the NFL. You know, I mean, if you stand back in the NFL and you can't move, you better have a cannon.
Yeah.
Which he does. But if you can't protect him or if you don't have good wide receivers, it'll expose you pretty quick. And, I get Mettenberger because, I mean, I'm a lot like I don't like a lot of people either. And Mettenberger's one of those dudes where he don't like anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he doesn't mind you knowing that he doesn't like you.
Yeah.
Which is, a cool – he's honest. He's very honest with you. And, sometimes I think in the NFL you take it or leave that.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be like that, you almost have to be like Russell Wilson. You have to always be like, you got to keep him. You know what I mean? It's like, we don't have anything else. He's the best we got. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know he's cheesy. And we hate him. You know what I
Right.
mean? But, like, we got to put up with him.
Yeah.
And Mettenberger is almost like the antithesis of that.
Exactly.
For Russell Wilson, it's the other side of the coin where he's like, he's unobjectively himself, and he's not going to apologize for it.
Yeah.
And he'll tell, like you said, he'll be like, yeah.
Yeah,
He'll
I don't agree with that.
He'll say exactly what he's thinking, and he doesn't care if people are uncomfortable.
Right.
I wonder why they didn't put him on staff here. Like, why wasn't
I'm
that
sure he
a
rubbed
move for him?
some people the wrong
No,
way.
no, I don't think that. I don't. Because there was a totally different staff when he wanted to get into coaching.
Yeah.
And I can remember people telling me at LSU that Mettenberger was, really kind of blowing them up to see if there was opportunity.
Yeah.
So I don't think that, by any means LSU was saying stay away from him. I just don't think anybody had a chance. I mean, look, if you want to be a coach in college football and you can make it on Nick Saban's staff for a year or more, you want to do that.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, you really, really want to do that, because if you don't want to do it, you can find out really quick that I don't feel like working 100 hours this week. I mean, did you see what Saban gave the stat last week that they worked like 330 days last year with the new schedule of transfer portal, recruiting windows, and official visits. And I mean, he's like, now it's become, now Saban's not working 330 days a year, but 70% of his staff
Yeah.
is working 330 days a year. And I guarantee you, Zach Mettenberger is one of the 70 that is working 330 days a year. So, Mettenberger's got the type of personality that I recall in knowing him, that if I'm not down with this, I'm not staying around here.
Yeah.
He must love it.
Yeah.
And you put Saban's coaching on my resume for 3+ years. Hey man, Zach Mettenberger wants to coach.
Yeah.
And I've always said that, and I've been in a room with him where he was talking football, like where he was, and talking that offense of 2013. And look, that 2013 offense was, before 2019, was the best offense I have seen in the 2000s since the early Jimbo Fisher days. Rohan Davey, right, in 2001 with Josh Reed. That was probably the best offense that had existed up until 2013, when Mettenberger, Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham, and Jeremy Hill came through here and rewrote the SEC record books. There had never been a squad that had 2 1,000-yard wide receivers and a 1,000-yard rusher and a 3,000-yard passer. And for the first time, now look, man, this is at LSU with Les Miles and Cam Cameron. So for the most part, those 4 guys, Mettenberger, Landry, Beckham, and Hill, were pretty much doing it by themselves. I mean, they were kind of the ones that were saying, look, we know what we're going to do. Let's figure this thing out. And in doing that, they were all over the SEC record books. And when Mettenberger you would hear him talk football that year of, what he's looking for. I mean, you had to imagine, by the 3rd, 4th game of the year, people were trying totally to take Beckham and Landry out of the game. Double, triple teaming them at some points. And, Mettenberger talking about how they would react to that. It sure as in hell wasn't Cam Cameron telling them how to do it. Right? A lot of that was Mettenberger would get lit up all the time on the sidelines because he'd be changing the play at the line of scrimmage. And Les Miles knew that there was nothing that he could say to him at this point, right? Because, you could took him off the field. He was the best quarterback in the league. And at that point, the league had Aaron Murray, A.J. McCarron, Zach Mettenberger. They had guys it was a quarterback league at that point, man. It was a lot of respect around the position, and Mettenberger was the best. That day, him and Aaron Murray got into that shootout in Athens, man. I was there.
Me too.
Really?
It was.
Odell fumbled a punt.
It was the best college football game I had seen in a long time in person. It was back and forth, back and forth. And for whatever reason, and this is Miles' fault too, Miles was always bailed out by his defense, right? That's the reason why he kept his job for so long, that he could put up 9 points, 6 points, 3 points, 12 points, and keep his job, because the defense wasn't allowing anybody to score. So they'd win 12-6 and 9-3 and, those ugly ass games. But the only year he didn't recruit a defense and go out there and get guys to come to Baton Rouge was in 2013. And if he would have had 2 other defensive linemen, they'd have won 2 other games and possibly been at the end of it, because they had the best offense in the league. They had the best offense maybe in the country, arguably. They had the most unguardable guys for sure. There was no defense that could take Landry, Beckham, and Hill out of the game. You couldn't do it. Pick your poison, right? You can take one of them. You can maybe take 2 of them, but you ain't going to get all 3 of them. And if they could stop anybody that year, that team, they beat the runner-ups. They beat Auburn at home, beat the hell out of them. Auburn went to the national championship that season with Nick Marshall and that crew.
That was the game we were talking about yesterday, Katie.
Mm-hmm.
Jarvis Landry's like toying with him. Jeremy Hill's like busting off 50-yarders.
Yes.
They're ripping through these the SEC champs. Right? And can't stop. That day in Georgia, it was whatever team had the ball last. Mm-hmm. It really was. I'm telling you, if you go back and watch that game, and LSU ended up having the ball last, and Mettenberger got nearly decapitated on a sack. I mean, he stays alive, and somebody comes from the backside and kills him on the field. And I think he fumbles, and Georgia recovers, and that was the end of the game. But Jeremy Hill and LSU score with about 2.5 minutes left in the game. And it's a beautiful drive. LSU's eating the clock up, and it's like 3rd down and goal, and Hill bounces one into the line and bounces outside. I'll never forget here. And I looked up to the clock and thought, this is too much. It's too much time. There was like 2.5 minutes. And I'm telling you, it was a Craig Lawson, John Chavis special where every single play, the DBs are looking at the sideline. Remember that LSU would go through that stretch where they'd show them on the field, and everybody, Jalen Mills, Craig Lawson, Thorold Simon, they're all like
looking at each other,
and the ball's being snapped as this is happening, and now they're like running into position, and it probably takes 6 plays, 5 plays, and I'm telling you, boom, 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 touchdown, and Georgia wins the game by 3, maybe, and it was you could not paint a better atmosphere. You couldn't paint a better day. You couldn't have scripted a better game. Now, I know LSU lost, and it was sucked to be on that side, but that was vintage Mettenberger, that game. Now, and look, he was going home. He had circled that game when he got to LSU. He knew that was on the schedule, and he knew he was probably going to play his best game of his career that day, and he did. He did, and it was a bummer that they didn't have a defense. If they'd had a defense with that offense, nobody in the country could guard them. Nobody in the country could guard them for 4 quarters. It was a lot like 2019. There was nobody. There was nobody in the country that could guard that team for 4 quarters. If you remember, Kevin Steele and Auburn had the best game plan that went against Burrow, Joe Brady, and the 2019 offense. And the only reason why it worked is because they had 2 first-round picks as defensive linemen, and they could rush those 2 guys, and he just dropped 9 into coverage. And Burrow was, for the first kind of quarter and a half was kind of like, what? This is crazy. He took the hardest shot he took all season that day too when he got hit on the sideline. Burrow, remember that Auburn defender?
Oh my God!
His neck snapped.
And he kind of went into the.
It was almost kind of like he got knocked out.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Right there, and but that was the hardest I'd seen.
He wasn't really right that. LSU wasn't right that day
because it was. Steele confused them. Even Brady and Ensminger, they'd show them in the booth, and they were like,
"What is this?"
But when they got it. It was they started running, and the Clyde Edwards-Helaire up the gut ended up being wide up. They ended up rushing.
Don't overthink it.
Right,
but they had never seen. And then you saw Clemson kind of try to come out with a similar game plan.
But they didn't have the players,
and they didn't have. And then they decided we're going to go 1-on-1 outside. He's like, I'm gonna throw it to Jamar Chase every play, and that seemed to work. It seemed to work all year,
right?
And so you're gonna give me this in the national championship, you could see how because that game started slow, where they're dissecting you almost and poking and prodding and figuring it out, and it's like, okay, now we go.
Field position was the problem.
Yeah, I know. Well, if they don't take away there's not an illegal man downfield on the first play of the game for LSU when he throws it to
Terrace.
No, it was Moss.
It was Moss.
Thaddeus Moss. He does the same thing he did against Georgia, where he's all over the field, and he just flings it 40 yards, and the whole place went crazy.
Right.
And then illegal man downfield, we have to redo all of this again. And field position. You almost had to let Clemson score to get the ball in the 25.
Yeah. By the time LSU had got to that point, they were unbeatable.
Yeah, it was a
matter of time. You couldn't. There was nothing you could do to stop them.
No.
Because Clemson had the right game plan, and hell, that was a first-round pick. Guarding Jamar Chase. AJ Terrell's out there. You're thinking you live and die. You know what I mean? You got a year on this kid. You're a year older than Jamar Chase. I don't know what that means, but at least you got that on him. And
good on good.
Yeah, 10 minutes in, it was like AJ Terrell. It ain't gonna work tonight.
Jamar should have had another one.
He dropped one.
And he got whenever he came out of bounds and tackled him.
That's right. But he dropped maybe the easiest one of the night. It bounced off his hands.
He stopped running.
That's I was trying to think. That was his only drop at LSU.
No, he had some drops. He had a couple. He had a couple. Like his
freshman year, he did. I'm talking about like the money year.
Oh yeah. I can't think of it.
I can't think of one ball that him or Justin Jefferson dropped. If you remember on the opening drive of Bama, Jefferson runs a crossing route and he kind of like
bobbles.
He kind of bobbles, but he falls on it.
Caught it.
He falls on it for a big first down, and I remember because I remember in the moment thinking that was weird.
Yeah, it was.
Because I mean, he was like Velcro.
Everything was.
I mean, I can't think of a ball that Jamar Chase dropped his sophomore season other than that third touchdown, and was probably would have been the easiest catch of the year.
And the only one that comes close to a drop, I guess, that I'm trying to think of was the first touchdown against Georgia in the SEC championship, where he like goes.
Yeah, but he caught it.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like that was the one that I'm trying to think of.
And he legitimately caught it.
Yeah, he like rolls over it.
Yeah,
and he kind of bobbled
he
it a little
smothers
bit.
it a little bit, but he's under it.
Yeah. But I'm saying that's one that I'm just trying to think of, and then it's well documented, obviously, that Thaddeus Moss didn't have a drop all year. Like it's registered on the docket that he caught every pass that was thrown to him.
He was wide open that whole play against Georgia too.
I mean,
Burrow was just waiting.
Dude, that play. I watched it the other day.
He just waiting for
him. He's pointing him out.
Yeah,
that was the dumbest game plan of the year on LSU. Was Kirby Smart?
Yeah,
was not putting any pressure on him for the first. It was over. It was by the time he decided let's put pressure on him.
The
game was done. Because I mean, like
Stetson Bennett was in the game.
That touchdown pass alone
shows you
that was like a video game.
Yeah,
it really was. It was like a video game.
You just keep dropping back
he
a
was
little bit.
Yeah, kind of like spinning.
Yeah,
pointing. You know, kind of like
Mississippi, for Mississippi. Like, nobody can run.
I think it was 9 seconds.
But he never even gets close to being touched.
No,
it's like there's 3 offensive linemen standing around. They're like kind of trying.
I'm looking for work.
Yeah, and Burrow's just back there.
Yeah,
a little bit more to the left.
Just drops. He throws him open.
Yeah,
drops a bucket.
I mean, he drops it right in the bucket. But Daylight Jefferson dropped a touchdown against Oklahoma. The first one he did. That's right. And then he caught
he caught 4
more.
Wait, I don't think he dropped the first one because the first one was the RPO,
no,
and he just
what would have been the first one? What would have been the first? Or was he out of bounds?
I don't know.
I mean,
but I know the first one was RPO, catch it and just.
That's when he made that extra.
Stretch.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When he jumped up and started. It's like, I better pack it up, Boomer.
Yeah,
it's over. I mean,
Lincoln Riley's on the side like
that might be the best game LSU football has played in the 2000s.
2007 Virginia Tech.
2007 Virginia Tech.
That was a
route. That was a route.
It was a perfect night.
Route.
What about Texas A&M Cotton Bowl?
Texas A&M Cotton Bowl in 2010.
LSU Louisville.
They beat the hell out of them.
Yeah.
LSU Louisville was
against Lamar.
Yeah, but that was a little. Offense was.
But they curb stomped out Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was like they like you could see it in Oklahoma's fan base where they wanted to be arrogant, and they were just
we're not there yet.
This is not us.
This is
too much.
y'all are way too.
I want to go back to Norman.
Yeah, right.
This was. I thought this was the SEC. It feels like the Big 12.
It was that was
impressive.
8 touchdowns, Burrow. He's playing on easy.
He threw 7.
Ran 1.
Yeah.
Well, this trip down memory lane has pushed us past Chris Blair's time. Is he coming in or is he calling? We calling him?
He must not be coming in.
Was he supposed to come in?
Yeah, he comes in every Thursday.
I didn't know if we were calling him or not.
Under the weather, Chris?
Hey now.
He usually just shows up.
Uh-oh.
But I got to cut out of here for a 9 a.m. meeting at WAFB this morning.
Waffle.
A little early. But LSU Kentucky tomorrow. So the game has been set for Saturday at 2 p.m. As that will be the first pitch for LSU Kentucky, and then it'll follow Sunday and then Monday if needed before setting the field to Omaha. We don't expect any surprises here. I mean, it's going to be Skeens game 1.
I would imagine.
I mean, obviously, I guess depending on the only thing would be the weather, right?
And I trust Jay Johnson's underground guy, so I'd imagine if you do see something out of the ordinary, that would be why, because that's literally the only thing that feels like can stop you from at least taking one game, which is crazy to say that you're at a super regional, but you got the secret sauce.
Right.
So if Skeens is able to go, the only thing that feels like that's been able to, anytime he's been cut short of a start, it's either been by the weather, or it's been LSU had him on a pseudo pitch count in Hoover, where it was just, all right, that's plenty. We've seen enough out of you. We know what you got, Skeens. Get on out of there. But if it's a win or go home, or obviously a super regional scenario, they're going to leave that man out there. He's going to be touching 124 again. If however long you want to ride that bull.
I guess that's the deal, right? I mean, you kind of
just ride him.
pitched up the pitch. You kind of picked up the pitch count. Just throw him now, right?
Yeah, you're done with pitch counts at this point. If he says, "Coach, I feel good," smack him on the ass, send him back out there.
Where's the old skip Ben McDonald?
Yeah.
We're gonna throw Ben again.
Yeah. That's my fault.
I mean, Coach, it's Tuesday. He just threw again. He's the
best in the
big
country.
game.
The arm.
What about the majors? I'm not worried about those guys.
I don't coach there.
Yeah, right.
Let's see, it's my fault. He got a blister.
Have
all right.
they announced Sunday's time yet, or no?
No, not yet.
No time.
They're waiting to see what the competition level looks like on game one before they set the TV schedules.
Yeah.
I wish it would be a night game.
Saturday night.
Sunday night.
Tiger
like the
Stadium?
next one.
Alec Box.
Yeah.
Did you go last weekend?
I'm going Saturday though.
Are you?
The only tickets I had last weekend were for Friday, and we were still going. So
Did you
I'll
give
be
them
there
away?
Saturday. No,
They
it
just
was
went
offered
unused?
from a company,
Oh.
so they just took them back.
Damn.
Using
Why didn't
the
you
same
take them and
ones.
pass them along?
Well, it wasn't mine to pass. It was the company David does business with. So.
David likes us over here.
Yeah.
Well, David likes me better, so we're going on Saturday.
Well, I'll
Some
tell you
days.
what, yeah, Sunday.
Some days. All right, everybody, have a good one. Hit that like button, share button, comment button. I appreciate you being here for this Thursday. Enjoy it. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Built by R&B Builders.